Game one of the Youth Trans Tasman series for both these teams. Here we go. Underway, Stanhope and Drew Price working together for the Australians in this one. Price, ball in hand. A big couple of years this young man has had in the touch football world. Looks to loop out the back to Stanhope. Touch. Price again just takes the ball forward. They'll complete their set on the 5 metre line. Let's see how the Kiwis go with their first possession. Looping ball out the back. Taria having to outstretch the arms to pull that one in. It's the Australians with Price putting pressure on as the Kiwis make changes. They roll over the halfway line now. Play out the back. A bit of space for them. They come back infield. Yes, they do. They feed it back in. Faria going across. Nice hands again. Still throwing the football around. New Zealand positive play. The last one from Ruby Hodgson. Couldn't find a target. But pretty positive there. The Kiwis managing to find field possession by throwing the football around. The Aussies now looking to do the same. They straighten up the point of attack now and roll over the halfway line. Kate Ryan taking it forward on that occasion. As Floyd Ty goes across field. Nice pick up from half. Oh, just dipping down in front of Olivia Steer on that occasion. Kieran Hughes just couldn't get the target. As Hignett Morgan gets the Kiwis towards their sub-box. Changes onto the park. Now it's the Kiwis come back through the middle of the field. Fifth touch, pick up and go. Left foot, right foot, comes back off the left again. Goes to floating ball, tries to get it away. Molly Donkin makes the touch. And as a result, a touch and pass. Penalty given to Australia. Nice start from both teams to open up this mixed 20s match here. Oh, nice job to reel that one in from behind. Blake Potts keeps possession in hand here for the Australians as they roll over into New Zealand's end of the field. Pick up from half. Kiwis coming up out of the line. They rip one out. Oh, beautiful hands. Reeled in off the fingertips to give the Australians the opening try of this match. This is going to look fantastic on the replay. As they come down that short side, Leaney just floats one over the top. Look at that take to slam it down. Paris Mooney finishes the job. And that's great wing work out there from the left winger. What a classy finish to get the first one on the board here for the Emus as the Kiwis look to kick out inside the 5 metre line. They retreat now. Keelan Murrell still jinking around, gets the penalty. Referee not satisfied. The Australian defenders were moving up off the line. Stanhope makes the touch. Scream out of the line. Oh, big contact. Geez, that's gutsy play. And Paris Mooney, the try scorer from the far side, turning it on in defence. She might have picked up a bit of an injury. She's going to have to hang out there at the moment. Still hobbling here. We'll keep an eye on Paris as the play continues. They might come back her way, but they go against the grain. Fire a bomb out into the corner. Actually run out of room in the end. And Mooney will make her way off to the field now that she's got the opportunity to be able to do so. As the Kiwis turn over possession after going over the right sideline. As Price takes it forward to receive a penalty. Players offside from New Zealand. More changes here for Australia. Stanhope comes off the field. Kate Ryan taking it forward on the previous play. Nice ball movement here from the Australians, turning it on. Beautiful ball. Threads the needle underneath. And Kieran Hughes again, summing it up perfectly. And the running game from the Aussies looks impressive in the early stages of this mixed 20s match. Nice work here. Potts gets it out. Nice work from Ty as well. And Hughes sums it up. Look at that ball out the back. And that's nicely supported there from Olivia Steer. Didn't have to do too much to slam that one down and get the second on the board there for Australia. So impressive start. The Emus come out all guns blazing. Can New Zealand respond? Collingwood plays it. Go the wrap around. Throw that left to right. Just sails over the head there of Ella Donald. Half a chance there for New Zealand. So we see the New Zealand substitution box on the far side of the field. Sucking in the big ones already. Tough hot conditions in Newcastle here this afternoon. Error from Australia. Incorrect play the ball, or a fumble in the play the ball, I should say. Gives possession back to New Zealand. Collingwood takes the settler. He'll head into the substitution box now. Koro. He takes the tap. Goes back infield. Tuakana. Switches in. Adams. Tuakana again goes left to right. Takes the deflection. And the penalty is actually going to go to the Aussies. Forward pass is the call. Wilkes goes across field to pick up meters. You can hear the call from the Australian box just to go forward, and they've responded exactly in that fashion. Last touch. Trying to skip across field. Nice work there in defence. Tuakana making the touch. He's in the acting half and dishes now to Koro. And penalty is actually going to go to Australia here. So on the halfway line, touch one here. They'll roll into New Zealand's end of the field. Zellini takes the tap. Heads into the interchange box. Price back onto the field with Stanhope. Rayner Paddy in the half. Goes to wrap-around play. Stanhope goes away from him. Can't skip away from the Kiwi defence. Price. Show and go from Stanhope. Touch is made out here on the left-hand side of the field. Taria involved on the previous play. He gets the ball here out the back. The Aussies getting up defensively here as the Kiwis doing their best to try to get to the substitution box. Deep into the touch count now. They're only just going to roll it over the halfway line. Few touches the call from the referee. Almost skipping away. And they try to continue on, but the touch is definitely made there. Price involved and Kate Ryan as well, who plays the ball now. Price in the half, gives to Stanhope. Come out towards the box again. The pace that we've seen in all four matches so far this afternoon has been absolutely electric. Australian box in front of us now. There's plenty of hands on hips already. As they receive the penalty. Wilkes sweeps around the back, gets into the left link position here for Australia. She's got the ball now off the switch, goes back midfield, picks up, props, and Wilkes just coming around on that wraparound play. Referees picked up a forward pass, must have come from the ruck. Good touch, just getting caught up in the ruck on that occasion, steer, but Kiwis had to go back to the mark. So pick up and go, throw that loose floating pass as well. The Aussies have got the answer at the moment. Strong contact again in the ruck. We've seen that in the previous matches, particularly when teams are making substitutions and coming across field. Both teams really trying to disrupt that roll ball as we see it in general play now. Referee's pulled that one up. Tuakana a little over vigorous in the roll ball. Again, they go the short side, right foot. Nice touch. 213s come together. Koro and Hegedus. As Leota sweeps around the back, comes against the grain, goes left to right, hits Molly Donkin on the chest. And that is the third try on the board for Australia. And just the weight of possession down this attacking end of the field. Too much for the Kiwis to counteract. And they're starting to get into the grind of the game nicely now, Australia. Midway point through this first half. The Kiwis are looking to hit back, get one on the board, reduce that margin back down to 2. It's amazing what momentum you can get from a touchdown as well. They just need a little spark here in New Zealand. Let's see what they got. The early ball from half again, coming in off the right foot. Toria dishes again. Be half a chance. Referee's coming back again. A bit of off the ball action might have been from New Zealand in possession. So a couple of penalties when they've been attacking the Australian line. It's come at a costly time for New Zealand. As Hughes, he's back onto the field. Play on, nice roll in, tie from half. Holds the ball up. Goes to Wilkes. Wilkes can't hang on to it. New Zealand again roll down there, sub side of the field. Another penalty. Looks like hooking in the roll ball. So there's been some 1% type penalties and errors. New Zealand have been given away throughout this first half, and it's cost them, unfortunately. And let's see if they can hold out defensively here against the Aussies. And they've looked extremely dangerous down this end of the field as Ty goes short, nicely read in defence. And it's actually going to be a penalty here to New Zealand. Pereira takes the tap, did a good job defensively as well on the previous play to force the error. But again, they've turned it over. Forward pass off the ruck. They're going to double it up and get marched off the field, not giving the ball back to the mark. So a couple of little areas, no doubt, New Zealand coaching staff will be looking to address at the halftime break. Still a bit away from getting to that point. 6.5 to go here in the first half. Down by 3, New Zealand. Still time to be able to rectify some of these as Leota tries to get in underneath. Referees again. And another forward pass in the ruck, so a couple of little skill errors on both teams. New Zealand now roll over with Whalen. Coming onto the field, Hawken. Hawken again, skips out. This is better from New Zealand. They're rolling into the line with purpose. Beautiful ball, and they managed to hold on to it. No. Forward. Ooh, that might have just been the spark that they needed, New Zealand. And Ella O'Donnell did a great job to hang on to that one and get it down in the corner. Tough call, and again, look at this, Australia, they just go straight back onto the attack, little show and go, they take the space down the sideline. Paris Mooney, looks like she's recovered, a little bit of strapping on the lower thigh, by the look of it. I just copped that knock. Good to see that she's back out on the park. And stretched out down the sideline on that occasion. Price, short of the 5, Stanhope goes back to Price, well received from the New Zealand defence. Stand up again, switches in. Answer the call. Hawken does the job for the Kiwis. 5 to go now in the first half. Kiwis again, shifted across the face. This is where it can become a difficult position where the interchange players are having to really sweep deep around players that remain onto the field, but a penalty helps New Zealand. They get their full complement onto the field. Good chance here for the Kiwis. They can get one on the board. 3-1. Game on again for sure. The Aussies had the better of it here in the first half. Collingwood goes back infield, goes back into half. This Collingwood, they fire back out on the left-hand side. Here it is. It was only a matter of time from New Zealand. The last few sets where they've come down this end of the field, they've looked promising, and they finally come up with the goods. As we have a look at the replay here, and it's a beautiful ball there from Hignett Morgan, and finished off nicely from Finn Whalen. So exactly what they needed as they start to get in towards the back end of the first half here. 3-1, reduce that margin back down to 2. Big defensive set for them as well. Want to hold out after points as Kate Ryan tries to squeeze through the middle. Ty shows the dummy. Goes towards Ryan, gets it back, does Ty. He rips it nice left to right. Great take in the corner as well. And the Kiwis, they would have wanted to hold out after scoring points, but they can't manage to do it. The Australians hit back nicely as we see Floyd Ty just absolutely rip a cracker and nicely finished off as well from the number 4, Olivia Steer. So back out by 3. The Aussies 4-1. This is the mixed 20s. And if you're just tuning in, other results in New Zealand mixed 18s. They defeated Australia 7-6. The 18 girls, the Australian side too good for New Zealand. And the ball just goes away from the fingertips. But the penalty will come to New Zealand. And in the 18 boys, the Australians got the victory in that one as well, just running away with it in the second half. So Hawken sends it back infield. Tyria gets the ball back here, does Tyria. Just hold the ball up and can't connect up with Keelan Morrell. The Aussies now come up with an error coming out of their end of the field. So again, this is a good opportunity just to keep the Kiwis within striking distance. 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Tuakana. He's looked pretty good throughout the first half. Let's see if he can strike anything up, working with Hignett Morgan in the half. Tuakana again. The referee's going to pull it back. Just another forward pass he picked up, so been quite a few. Interesting to see the stats from the first half. Forward passes been given, particularly around the ruck area. Just need that extra second just to make sure those passes get delivered in a timely manner as the Australians roll through. They might smell blood in the water. Leota comes off the right field play on. It's going to be the call. It's going to be a penalty regardless here for the Aussies. 30 seconds left on the clock. Going to the halftime break with a 4-try lead. It'll be a pretty big ask for the Kiwis in the second half to find a way to get back into this one. So they sweep around the back. They go away, have a little dive at the line. Nice touch again to Akana. Getting the job done for New Zealand. Leota sweeps around the back. They go to him again. Nice work coming up out of the line. Hignett Morgan shutting that one down. Referee calls time off. Just gets the players on the right mark. Who goes in the background? Last play. Got the Kiwis shut that one down, so they managed to hold out the Australians right on the half-time break. But it's all the Aussies so far in this mixed 20s match. We go into the half-time break with the score Australia 4 over New Zealand 1. Welcome back to Newcastle. Second half has just gotten underway here. The Australians are in control of this. This is the mixed 20s division. Current score here is 4-1. The Aussies in control. But the Kiwis here, they might have made the perfect start. They have. What about that ball there from the number 2 to Akana? Sends an absolute ripper out to Ella Donald. Look at this one on the replay. Tuakana picks up and goes straight over the head. Great finish in the corner as well. It's exactly what New Zealand needed. Taking some positivity out of the halftime break. It's Drew Price on touch 1. Picks up some pretty decent meters. Stanhope on touch 2. And they're straight away attacking the line. And the ball just dips away. A late pass there from Drew Price. And that was almost the ultimate response there from Australia. Nice little set piece. And Raina Badior just couldn't reel that one in. So the Kiwis now down that left-hand side of the field. There's no one to throw the football to. So they got disjointed there as they were making substitutions, the Kiwis. And after coming away with the positive start, getting points from the tap-off on their next possession. And giving the football straight back to Australia. As we may mention throughout the first half, just those little errors really cost them. And it would have been an area that they would have no doubt been looking to tidy up. So let's hope there isn't too much more of that from New Zealand. As Hughes has touched outside the 5-metre line. Goes into half, comes off the left foot, throws it to Ty, and that's a big touch made from Ella Donald. So scoring the opening try for the Kiwis, comes up with a good play defensively as well. Had to make that touch, just directing traffic out there now for the Kiwis. This is better as they go down the sideline. A little bobble in the acting half. Played the ball area, turns the ball over, so the error count continues to climb here for New Zealand. Ty works with Blake Potts in the middle for Australia. Hughes to Ty. Ty comes off the left foot, not bothered there defensively, coming off the line to Akana. As Hughes gets touched, has forced back to the mark. Ty again goes the fancy footwork, come out, and a great read again out on the left-hand side of the field from New Zealand. Wingers have been strong for the Kiwis this afternoon. Tuakana gets them going forward. Now, Adams does the same for the Kiwis. As changes come onto the field. Hawken drifts across field. Oh, that's taken a deflection. Play was on. Hodgson, a nice outside in line. Touch count restarts. Another penalty Morel goes to quick tap. Pull back. They come out the right-hand side of the field. Strain defence. Rock solid. They go away into the in-goal area, and the support is there. The touch is being claimed. Referees are going to be happy that the ball was down first. So this is nice from it, New Zealand. Another try on the board. As we see they get into the in-goal, and just a whisker away there, Kate Ryan. Keelan Morel gets the try for New Zealand, and they are within one now, the Kiwis. 4-3 is the score. So it's been a great response. Leota floats one over the top and can't be reeled in. Tough ask there for Paris Mooney to be able to get hands on that one. So 2 tries here in the second half as Leota gives the penalty away. In the ruck. So this is great work from New Zealand. As they roll into Australia's end of the field now. To Akana. The danger players here for the Kiwis. Touch made on Adams. To Akana from half again. Plays out the back. Ooh, coming in again. Paris Mooney is in the wars this afternoon. So they might be calling for time off as the Australian medical staff head out onto the field. Yeah, Mooney picking up the leg injury earlier on in the match. And clutching at the head. Might be the neck or collarbone region as we see the replay coming up now. Oh, might have been a bit of a head clash. Or head coming off the body of one of the Kiwi players. So she's going to be a bit sore tomorrow. Poor old Paris Mooney. It just shows everything's on the line out here as the touch that needed to be made. They have the space available out here on the right-hand side, New Zealand. And just with that 1 try lead that the Aussies hold, it looks like Paris is getting back to her feet. The crowd responds accordingly. There's a little bit of a slight smile on the face of Paris Mooney. She heads over to the sideline. Hopefully again, there's nothing too serious that comes out of that collision. So she gives a little bit of a nod of the head to the medical staff and coaches. I'm just going to give her an assessment now. The Kiwis, they're back on the attack. Too many options available for them at the moment. Touch made there on Coro. He pops back in field. Sweep around, they go against the grain, they try and play short. They're only a metre away from the try line. And Australia didn't really have to do too much, just pop forward. Into the call. Oh, no touch. It has been called. The referee agrees with it as well. James Hegedus on occasion. I think that was on touch 1. Where Australia were under pressure, defending their line previously. Regain possession, turn the ball back over. So crafty bit of defence work there from New Zealand. This is a golden opportunity for them to level this match back up. It's all Australia in the first half. The Kiwis, they've got the momentum here in the second. Early ball, just out of it a little bit positionally. Nice work, Wilkes. Early play the ball, referee says play on. They go back in field, that's ball down. Well, here we go. New Zealand, they have worked themselves back into this match and leveled it up. What a second half performance they are putting on now as we check out the replay. Nice work there from Tyria. Look at this, play the ball, just a whisker away from the try line. They give early ball again. Donald sets it up perfectly and sends it back in field. So New Zealand come from out of nowhere here in the second half. They'll level this one back out. Price goes back in to send Hope. And referee, touch and pass. Oof, the Aussies, again, just a whisker away. Had a couple of opportunities, and now it's the Australians who get the no-touch penalty. Nice defensive pressure from New Zealand getting up. Nice shot on Drew Price as well. Taiti putting the job on the right-hand side as Leota comes in field. Give the penalty away. Tap taken. Kiwis. Taiti. Trudge over the halfway line. Strong touch. A little bit of fancy footwork. Ooh, the touch is made. Tyler Stanhope on Tyrea. Almost skipping away there, Tyrea. Ooh, Leota gets it out. Oh, and coming back infield. Would have been a chance to get some more meters. They stayed on the outside edge. So, golden opportunity here for New Zealand. Can they take the lead for the first time in this match? They've put 3 tries on in the second half. No, error in the roll ball. Oh, now Australia. Well, it's been almost a complete reversal of what we saw in the first half. The Kiwis really struggling and coming up with some unforced errors early on in their touch count, and now it's Australia in the second half. They're coming up with errors of their own, and they're really leaving the door slightly ajar here for New Zealand. They take the lead here in this 20s mixed match. We're halfway through the second half here. Plenty of time left, and there's a big looping ball and the dive in the corner. Touch made. What a second half Ella Donald is having for New Zealand. Plenty of action coming her way. She's taking the right options on every occasion. And whisker away from getting another one on the board for New Zealand. They pick up and go here on Laugh. They rip it out again to Donald. She steadies, comes back in field. And the touch has been made. Late pass is the call. Australia gets straight back underway. They've just got to look to complete here, Australia. Again, mistakes coming out of their end. There's another one. Well, they've got the wobbles. They've got the wobbles indeed here, Australia. But New Zealand, they've got to capitalise on these opportunities that have been presented to them. As New Zealand making changes. Only 3 on the park at the moment. Substitutions come on. They get their full complement back onto the field. Much room to move or work with down there on the right-hand side for New Zealand. Come back in. Calais Adams, football in hand. Again, space, diving in underneath, and it's that man again. Jordan Tuakana has absolutely turned it on here in the second half. As we see the replay, just throws the dummy, catches Isaiah Leota flat-footed. And for the first time in the match, New Zealand in the lead. What a second half performance they were put on out here as Drew Price tries to kick away from the New Zealand defenders. Can Australia respond here and level this one back up? They come back in field. Referee's happy. Lachlan Rayner Badior gets it done for Australia. So we are level. Well, they needed that. Australia. Just to stem the momentum of this New Zealand side. It's been all the Kiwis here in the second half. Collingwood sends it infield. Faria comes off the right foot. Can catch Australian players offside. Referee's happy. They retreated to the line. Now the Aussies need to continue to move forward. Stephen Collingwood goes forward for the Kiwis again. They come back out to that familiar left-hand side. Ella Donald gets it back in field. Go the flick. And Drew Price putting the body on the line and shut that play down. As Wilkes goes forward for the Aussies. Rayner Badior goes forward, the try scorer for Australia. Changes here as Ty comes onto the field. Ty dishes again to Potts. Nice pick up from Hughes. Hughes comes off the right foot, still going Hughes. Goes back in field to Potts. And what a try and set up there from Kieran Hughes. Oh, summed that up perfectly on the replay. Just holds the ball up, then goes off the left foot, gets away from the defence there on Faria. And Potts, Johnny on the spot. Puts the Aussies back in front, back-to-back tries. Sees the Emus reclaim the lead. 6-5, back in front now. 6 minutes to go here in the second half. It's the Kiwis again look to level up. They're going to get a penalty. Floyd Ty called out of line there from the referee. Campbell Muir officiating on field at the moment here in this mixed 20s match. Oh, the little show and go, yeah. The ball's been put down before the defence could come across. Again, just a little dummy there from Jordan to Akana. Just catching the Australians napping yet again. And we see just that little dummy. Floyd Ty just couldn't get across in time to Akana. Putting on an absolute display here in the second half. Back level as Leota goes against the grain, back in, and wow, the floodgates are starting to open now. It's becoming a bit of a shootout. Hegedus, he gets another one on the board for Australia. As Leota goes back in field, Hegedus does a good job just to get away from the outstretched arms of the New Zealand defender. So 7-6, Kiwis back in front. Hodgson. Now a little bobble, holds on to it. Great job there. And Tyria takes the tap. Go back in field. And again, Rayner Badior coming in. Shut that one down from the right link position. Last one now, they just try the float pass behind the Australian defensive line. It's going to be called as a touch and pass. Stanhope takes the first hit up for the Emus. Again, they come down the substitution side of the field. Stanhope comes off the field. Wilkes picks up nice meters. They're flowing on nicely here with Potts. He gives it out to Ty. Hughes will pick up and go from half again. Hughes rips a long ball out. Oh! The outstretched arms of the referees are going to pull it back for a forward pass. And Olivia Steer went flying through the air. See her holding the stomach there. Winded, no doubt. Jeez, that would have been one for the highlight reel. As a ball down has been called in the roll ball. Kieran Hughes turning it on for the Aussies. Back into the second half. As he sweeps around the back. They go away from him. Potts goes back midfield to Floyd Ty. And the Aussies make the Kiwis pay for the error coming out of their end of the field. As we see here, Potts coming in. Just comes off the right foot. Gives it back to Floyd Ty. Midfield defence couldn't get across in time for New Zealand. So the push back out, handed lead. 2-try advantage now. Kiwis really got to strike in this set, you feel. The clock is starting to wind down. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left here in this match. Again, the danger man takes a deflection. Now, no hands involved. So the ball back in possession here with Australia. Wilkes takes the touch. Price. Good meters. Raina Badior goes forward again. Kate Ryan steadies the ship. The penalty's been given away. No touch being called. Minute and a half now for New Zealand. Got to get into the strike zone. As Ferreira dishes out. Morgan holds up the defence. Collingwood dishes. Big looping ball out into the corner. So they've gotten another one on the board, Finn Whalen. But under a minute now, the Australians are going to take every second possible away from the clock here as they slowly make their way back onto the field. They'll be trying to wind down every second they can here, the Aussies. As the Kiwis reduce that margin again. It's back down to 1. This is going to be a tough ask for them. Will they have any time left on the clock? They have one more crack at the Aussies, but the first priority here is they've got to hold out defensively, try and force an error from Australia. Hughes holds it up. Ty, Potts to Hughes. Big touch. Great touch coming in there, Wyatt. Ty again, 5 seconds left. They're going to run out of time here, New Zealand. Hughes goes back into Potts. 6 touch. Now they've got a penalty. The hooter goes in the background. They've got one play here, New Zealand. Can they level it up? They go down the sideline, show and go, but they run out of space. And what an entertaining mixed 20s game we had there. What an absolute roller coaster. All Australia in the first half went into the halftime break with a comfortable lead. But New Zealand absolutely turned it on in the second half to make a real match out here on the stadium field. But the class of Australia in the end, back-to-back tries, gets them into a position where they take the win. The final score here in the mixed 20s match is Australia 8 over New Zealand 7. We're going to head down to the field and grab a couple of players for some interviews, and then we'll be back with the girls 20s match.